Hello once again, this is Stefan once more, and today we'll be also discussing Witcher 3 Mod Installer tool. This time this will be an introduction to the new features added to the version 0.3 beta. 0.3 beta introduces a lot of new things, adds a lot of new features, and I would just like to highlight the most important one and the biggest ones, and so allowing you to have actually easier time understanding them and knowing how they work and how you can use them. All right, so let's begin without further ado. Now this is the zip folder that you download, that you get when you download. It got like just these two files as before. Now if we open them, here is what we get inside. We have the Witcher 3 installer exe, but this time you can see that we also have the 7z.exe. Now this file is obviously a 7-zip program, which allows us to install mods directly from the archives, and I'm going to demonstrate in that. As you can see, that is one of the new features that is added to the 0.3 beta version. If we run the installer, you can see right off the bat that we get asked for the witcher3.exe file. Before you could proceed without it, but you wouldn't be able to actually do anything this time. You will actually be prompted to select it as soon as you first start the program. So press OK, and it's going to ask you to navigate to it. Again, you can use the shortcuts, or you can go directly to the base game, which I'm going to do now, which, as I said before in the previous video, it's in bin and x64 if you don't know where it is. I'm gonna select it. As you can see, once more, I do not have any kind of mods installed. If we go here, there are no mods. But there's one little interesting thing that you might notice is that compilation trigger is no longer recognized as a mod. It's actually being ignored. And everything that you might actually add, anything in random, is also ignored. Refresh mod list, you can see there's nothing in it. However, if you remember the previous version, you could actually add a whole bunch of stuff and they will be still shown here. Right now, only the actual mods are being shown in the actual list view here. Now, there are a lot of graphical changes, as you can see. The first of all, you have this wide, very big list view that shows a lot of different information about the mods. I will be showing you that quickly, but right here you can see you have the mod name, you have whether it's active or not, which is one of the new features. I'm going to show you that really quickly. We have the how many DLCs you have, how many menus, how many keys, what is its size in kilobytes or megabytes depending on it, and we have also when you installed this selected mod. Now we have the three old buttons we used to see in the previous version, but now we also have this new button, which is also the same feature that represents this active column. So I'm going to talk about it real quickly. And we have like run script merchant. This wasn't in the previous version. This is only in this newest version, as it allows you to run the script merger directly from this program, which is a really nice feature because merging scripts goes like it's a must after installing any kind of script mods. And we have run the game, which is basically just runs the game as before. We have these menus here. This is actually a menu bar. They contain all possible functions that you can actually do. So we'll go over them in a second. And we have this here. You might not see it, but it's actually a progress bar. And every single action that you do will be displayed here as a progress, as how much time is left for it to finish. Alright, so first I want to demonstrate the basic installation. I mean, I'm not going to show you I'm not going to go into the detail how the basic installation works. I did that in the previous video. I'm just going to use it as a helping tool for the expression to actually introducing the new features. Now when we click on the install mod, if you remember from the previous version, you would get in the window that looked like this. Now this time it's different. It looks like a normal Explorer. Now why is that? Because now you can select both folders and the archives, which are actually regular files. As you can see here, you can select zip, RAR, or 7-zip archives. So let's just go to the folder where I have those. As you can see now, here is a little bit of problem because you can select all of these files as regular files. Select double clicking on them and pressing OK will install it. As you can see, this mod just got installed directly from the zip archive. And I will go over this really quickly. But if we last month, if we want to select a folder, now this is a bit different because if you select a folder, you will actually go into it. This is not what you want. You want to actually select it and use it as a base folder for all the mod files. The way to do that is instead of entering it or clicking open, you actually need to press enter. That's a bit of a difference. It's a little bit of a nuisance because it's how the Windows Explorer works. I haven't implemented as of yet, but if I do, it will definitely be changed. For now, just press enter for actually choosing the folders. Just navigate with your mouse, and that's it. All right. Now, you already saw how we can install the mod directly from the archive. Now, if you're wondering, can you install multiple mods in the archives at the same time? Well, answer is kind of yes, because if there are multiple mods inside one archive, then they would still get installed, but they would use one mod. Usually you should have like one mod inside of one archive. And if you do have, like as I have now, you have exactly one mod inside one archive. And if you select and you go to the multiple mods and select the folder that contains both archives on regular folders, it's gonna install all of them, regardless of whether they are zip or RAR or whatever other archive, or just a regular folder. If you select the folder that contains them all, it will simply install all of them. And if you saw, we have 12 of the mods, 6 of the folders and 6 of the archives. If we select the folder that contains them, pressing OK, it's going to install all 12 of them. All right, as you can see, we have 12 mods installed. We have like 2 mod menus and all other stuff, but that doesn't really matter as much. All right, so that's all I wanted to talk about the archiving. Now, here is the second thing, the second feature, which is probably the biggest and the most important feature that was added in the 0.3 beta version. And for that purpose, I'm going to actually I'm going to delete everything except the ghost mode, and I'm going to install the Witcher 3 Enhanced Edition. And why is that? Why am I doing this? Well, I'm trying to demonstrate to you. Let me just open this. It's multiple mods. Here it is. All right. Now, let's say you have 2 mods similar, like these two. They are quite similar. They don't do exactly the same things, but script-wise, they are both gameplay overhauls, and they change a shit ton of things, and it's almost impossible to actually play them together. Now, sometimes you might want to actually play one, then play the other, then use the one for some time, then use the other. Depends completely on you, but it's quite difficult to do that because you have to actually remove all the files from one mod and add from the other one, and then if you want to change, you have to remove the first one and install the second one, and so on and so on. It takes a lot of time, not to mention that all the junk is left behind because we generally tend to forget everything that mod adds. So this is a nice feature that allows you to actually disable or enable a mod anytime you want. And what it does is basically removes them or does not remove it, it actually simply disables the main content and everything else that that mod added, and just make it so that the game ignores those files. Other than that, everything is still there, and you can re-enable it at any point in time, and you can use them. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now, as we have the ghost mode, and I'm going to open my my mods folder. And to do that, you have generally few ways. You have to select which one you want to disable, then press the right click and go to the enable disable selected mods. You can actually do it from here as well, or go to mods and press this button, or as you can see, every single function or operation now actually has a hotkey. So you can actually just press the hotkey and it will be automatically done for you. You do not have to actually click any button. So, but for this presentation, I'm going to select these three and I'm going to press enable or disable selected mods. And they have been disabled. As you can see, all of three have been disabled. Now, what this actually produced, you saw that there were like 2 DLC, 3 menus, something like that, some keys, but right now you see that there is nothing of those because all of them have been not removed but disabled. And let's take a look at the mod folder. We see that they are now renamed to tilde in front of the mod name because this works actually because everything that does not start with the mod word before the actual name will be completely ignored by the game. That's why this works. And this is how the installer actually flags whether the mod is disabled or not. So let's see what happened to all other files. We know that Witcher 3 Enhanced Edition has a couple of these DLCs. If we go to either of them, we see that they all got this disabled extension, making them disabled files, making the game completely ignore them. So it would just not be used. Also, if we go to the other DLC folder, we see the same thing happen there as well. So what happened to the menus? Let's go to actually to the bin. Config R4Game user compromise PC. We see now, we remember that the Witcher 3 Enhanced Edition had like 3 menus. Here they are, but they all have been disabled. All of them, all 3 of them. Not one of them is actually gonna be used by the game. They are now disabled files and not XML files, and the game will simply ignore them. So what happened to the keys? We see there is only one key, and that key is from the ghost mode. It's not from the enhanced edition. So what happens if we like re-enable them? Does it everything move back to the original state? Well, the answer is yes. Let's re-enable them. These 3 got back to the XML files. Let's see what happens to the DLCs. DLCs got back to original bundle install store files. What happened to the mods? They are back to the original name. And what happened to the XMLs? All the input XMLs are back where they should be. Now I want to actually like present that this actually works. I'm going to run the script merger. And this time I have not yet selected where my script merger is, so I have to do that now. Once you do this, it's gonna remember, so you don't have to do that every time, just the first time. Here it is, my Witcher 3 merger, script merger. As you can see, the ghost mode and the enhanced edition has tons and tons of conflicts, like just a lot. However, if you disable one of them, let's now disable the ghost mode. If we run the script merger, there are no conflicts whatsoever because this mod is just completely ignored. It's still there, but it doesn't actually, it's not used anywhere. If we go to the XML, we see now that just one is removed, just one XML var is removed, and that one is from the ghost mode. So let's re-enable it. All right, so that is the second feature. It's a very useful feature. It actually never occurred to me. The idea came from the Wasteland Ghost, as she suggested it. I tried it. It works. It's a really good idea. So thank her for that. Thanks to her for the great idea. All right, and there is one last thing feature I wanted to show, and to do that I'm going to uninstall these mods. All right, now this thing, why is this always happening? Because this is a feature that allows you, this basically tells you you need to run the script merger every time after you install or uninstall a mod, because when you install a mod there are possible conflicts between your new mod and the other mods you have, and when you uninstall you actually have to unmerge the existing merges. That's why this is basically for the people who just started modding, who just started installing new mods, and they're not quite sure when and where and how do they should merge the mods. Some people do not even know that they have to merge them. So this is just a like alert that you have to do it. You can disable it, and I'm going to show you that later when I go over this bar. But for now, I just want to show you one feature, and I'm going, for those purposes, I'm going to install the complete animations. Nope. And I'm going to install the ghost mode. No. Alright, so now I have my two mods. Well, not mine, but they're two installed mods. One of them is mine, complete animations is mine, but that's not the point. Alright, so now what am I doing here? Well, basically, if we're on the script merger, we see there are like six conflicts between those two mods. And you can actually go ahead and now try to merge them, and you're most likely going to be successful. But if you're not sure how to do it, sometimes people on the internet might actually merge some two mods and actually upload their merges so other people can download them and use them. However, I've been doing that for quite a long time. Every time if someone had a problem merging things, I would make merges and upload them, but I found that a lot of people have problem installing those merges. So if you ever read the complete animations post about it, when I actually wrote how you can actually install those merges, there are like 4 ways. You can read that on the complete animations page. But there were still some problems, and I wanted to make an automatized way to actually make the installer do that for you. And these are those scripts. I actually made the scripts. These are scripts downloaded from the Complete Animations mod page, and there are like those 6 scripts that were conflicted in previous like window I showed. So to do this, you go to mods and you select install merge scripts. Now it's gonna say an error because I didn't select for which mods are these merge files for. So I'm gonna select those two. I'm gonna mods and install merge scripts, and I'm gonna select this folder. This is the folder you need to get. You need to select the one that has like mod00 merge files, 00000. All right, select that one, press OK, and it's already done. Now what it did actually is removed all the conflicting scripts from both mods and then applied the merge scripts that I provided, and it copied them to the one of the mods, and it'll always select the one mod that is like that has the highest priority, which basically has like the alphabetically is before. You see the C is before G, so that's why it's first. It's gonna be loaded first. It doesn't follow the custom load order, but it does follow like this alphabetical order. So basically all the scripts are removed, all 6 scripts are removed from both mods and added these merge ones to the complete animations. And if we run the script merges now, we see that there are no more conflicts and we can run the game smoothly and everything will work just fine. Alright. Now to disable this, if you find this annoying, you go to settings and configure settings. And here you can change the path that you selected for Witcher 3. You can change the path that you selected for the script merger. You remember this, and this is basically what happens if the mod is already installed and you're trying to install it again. Do you want to remove the old one, or you remove the old one, or you want to overwrite the old one? So the default is to overwrite, but you can change that. And this is alert me to run the script merge after each uninstall or install. You basically simply select here no, save, and you will not be prompted ever again. Alright. Now we have this mod menu. Here you have the basically all options that you have here, and maybe some new, like install script, merge script. You see, as I said, all these hotkeys. You can use each of them, like pressing Ctrl E will open the window for installing a mod. Now you have tools, which are basically these two options. You have the settings and you have the help, which is basically something about the program, and the main web page, which is basically the mod page on the Nexus. All right, I just want to note just a few more things, which are like a smaller changes and small bug fixes, but they were kind of bugging me. All right, so the first one is that, as you noticed, all the mods are now sorted in the alphabetical order, which actually follows the load order of the mods. And the second thing I want to say is that the code has been rewritten mostly, making it work much smoothly and should probably be much quicker and faster than it used to be in the previous version. And I'm going to install the same amount of mods, maybe a few more, that I used to install in the previous video, and we'll see if it goes any faster now. It should go, as you can see, a lot faster. It should really go faster, and as you can see, it's almost done. And there we go, it's already done. That's like 26 mods in a few seconds. I think I managed to improve the speed quite a lot as I changed the algorithms for detection and for installing. So I think it's a good improvement. And as you can see, everything is loaded with the alphabetical order. And as you see them here, that's how they're going to be loaded in the game. And to change the load order, you simply go to the mods folder, and rename those files. And now the second thing I wanted to talk about, which is probably the last thing, is that there used to be a problem when a mod, for example, like friendly HUD, that adds a new group, completely new group to the XML. And if we open it, here it is. This group is a hidden group and basically doesn't exist in the regular XML file. This is something added by the mod. And in the previous version, the installer would just ignore all of these. Whoops, sorry about that. Would simply ignore all of this. Actually, it would use all this and it would ignore that it was a group, and it will add all those above where they should be, where they, like the regular vars should be, which is above the base character movement. And in this newest version, it doesn't do that. It actually places the group right where it should be, and this is the product after installing all those mods, as you can see, and all of those are all those, like that group, the whole group is copied right where it should be, and it's not here, it's not in between those like regular vars. They are different vars. And if we happen to disable the friendly HUD, Ctrl Q I just pressed, you see that group is deleted. The group is no longer there. It's not added everywhere. If we re-enable it, Ctrl Q once more, and the group is back where it was. So that's a neat little thing. Again, all right, so that's about it. That's about all I wanted to talk about. There are tons of new things, like there are many tiny fixes, adjustments, and changes. You can read about them all inside the changelog on the mod page, on the Nexus mod page. So be sure to check that out. If you still have, I still do have a lot of things I want to add and I want to change, more features. I'm thinking also about them in the on the mod page, on the description page. You will be able to read that as well. If you have any more suggestions or ideas or anything else you might like to see in a mod manager, just just like contact me or just write a comment wherever you want on YouTube or the on the Nexus mod page, wherever you want. I do read them all, so just write and I'll see if I can implement it. And that's about it. That's all I wanted to say. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great time using this newest version of the Witcher 3 mod installer. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.